Hello, everyone. It's interview time. And tonight I have Carrie Harris, writer of genre fiction. Her latest is Witches Unleashed, a Marvel Untold novel. Welcome, Carrie Harris.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. I'm a full time writer. I've been a full time writer now for 15 years almost. I write some original stuff, and I'm a huge Marvel super fan. So I actually signed with a publisher the same week that they inked a deal with Marvel, and so I very obnoxiously begged, shamelessly begged, to be allowed to pitch. And so I've written X-Men, Ghost Rider, and just turned in an Avengers book. So I'm pretty psyched.
Very good. Tell us a little about Ghost Riders in Witches Unleashed, a Marvel Untold novel.
Well, I'm a huge comic geek, so I like my books to be really tied into the comics. And you get some that are more directly tied in, and others that are kind of general. I prefer tied in if I can accomplish it. So, um, Witches Unleashed is based on two comic runs. One is the Vicious Cycle storyline with Johnny Blaze, where he escapes from hell, and Lucifer catches a ride and breaks off into 666 shards, and Johnny has to hunt him down. And in the comics, you only see like 20, 25 maybe. So there's still a lot of shards to work with. So I told one of the untold shards, in which Johnny has to partner up with the team from the Witches mini series, which is Jennifer Kale, Satana Hellstrom, and Topaz. Because I thought they would have an interesting. Well, they'd argue. That's what I thought. I thought they'd argue.
I see. So, in other words, you have to have a little bit of knowledge of the Ghost Rider backstory to really understand the novel, or can you just jump right in?
You can jump right in. I try to write books that are accessible to people who saw a Marvel movie once and liked it, but also to deep comic fans. So if you're a fan of the comics and if you've read them, you'll catch some Easter eggs that other people won't. But I try to give background, and since there's a lot of space, because it's a prose novel, there's a lot of words. Mm-hmm. Like I make sure to catch everybody up with where things are and who these people are. So if you've never seen them, that's okay.
Oh, great. Did you have any version of Ghost Rider in mind? Like, did Nicolas Cage come to mind, or did you fill in your own voice as you wrote it?
I mean, yes, I've seen the Nicolas Cage movie. I did enjoy it as a Nicolas Cage movie. I think you can argue that it's not Johnny Blaze exactly, mm-hmm. and that's okay. If you go into it as Nick Cage, as a Nick Cage fan, then it's fun. But I'm a fan of Johnny Blaze from the comics. I used to read them when I was smaller, and so that's who I pictured. I know a lot of authors picture actors and things, but I actually pictured comic strip people running around.
Okay, so do you have if you could cast the role of Ghost Rider with an actor, who would you cast?
I mean, there've been all those Norman Reedus rumors, which is fine. I really enjoyed him. I liked him ever since Boondock Saints. But probably my top pick would be Keanu, just because he's a biker. He can handle Johnny's a tragic character. He turns into a flaming skull and rides a bike, and that's cool. But he's tragic. He's messed up. And I think Keanu would do a good job of both of those things.
Yeah, and if you saw Keanu in the list, the Matrix movie, he did kind of have, that kind of Ghost Rider type vibe.
Yeah, I saw it and liked it, and I absolutely agree. I think he'd be excellent at it. And I liked him as Constantine, so he's got comic book chops,
Yeah, I think I'm one of the few people who liked Keanu's Constantine. Other people don't think it's not blonde enough. He's not blonde. He's not English, but it was a perfectly fine version of it.
He had the spirit of it. I
Mhm.
love that movie. I wish there was another one. I'm sad that there's not. So I'm with you.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you're doing a Avengers story that's coming out.
Yeah. Uh, it's called Shadow Avengers. It comes out in April, and it's actually the second book in the series based on the Marvel Crisis Protocol game. You don't have to have played the game um, in order to appreciate it. They feel very much like Marvel Avengers movies. Lots of characters that you'll recognize, lots of fight scenes, witty banter, a few touching moments, that kind of thing. So it was a real blast to write.
Oh, great! And are there any other Marvel characters you'd like to write about in the future?
I mean, how long do we have? um, yes, and there's a long list. The one that I keep pitching because there's not a whole lot of content about her and she's not as appreciated as she should be is Dazzler from the X-Men. Because she has so much potential, her
Mhm.
powers do, that I don't think anybody's really digged into her to find out exactly how powerful she is.
Yeah, she's one of those kind of, characters that's in the corner, but
Yeah,
really has more that she could offer.
I absolutely agree.
Yep. So, about you, what do you do in your off time?
I do it. What's that? um, I mean, if you can't see from the wall behind me, I'm a huge nerd. So I read a lot. I watch a lot of sci-fi and fantasy TV and movies. Um, I have three teenagers, so I chauffeur people places all the time and yell at them to clean their rooms. And yeah, I make nerd like crochet nerd dolls and things like that. I haven't done that in a while though.
Well, that's awesome. Now, I noticed that not only do you do Marvel books, you do other books. Are there any other books you'd like to talk about?
Well, my most recent original book is called Elder God Dance Squad. It's actually right behind my head. So, and that one is it's kind of like Bring It On meets Stranger Things. It's a very ridiculous. It's about Lovecraftian creatures that are crawling up from underneath a high school and the dance team that has to have a dance battle to save the world with with the monsters.
Well, awesome. Well, for an interesting question here, I have a deck of cards in front of my
Ooh.
hand with interesting questions.
Okay.
So let's pick one, see how you answer this. If you could bankrupt one person or company, who would it be?
Bankrupt?
Yes.
Ooh. I mean, I guess I'd pick whoever's the richest guy in the world currently, and I'm going to say Bezos because he's the richest one I can think of. But then you could redistribute some wealth.
Good choice. Good choice. All right. Well, I've enjoyed having you today. Tell everyone where they can find you online.
Um, let's see. You can visit me at my website, which is carrieharrisbooks.com. And then I'm very frequently on Twitter when I'm trying to avoid writing my words for the day. And I'm there at Carhar, Carrrharr.
All right, awesome. Well, as I said, Witches Unleashed is out right now, and you have that upcoming Avengers book. Carrie Harris, thank you for dropping by, and I hope we'll talk more in the future.
Sounds good to me. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.